Oh wait, we on? Oh gosh, I didn't realize. Sorry, you all caught me off guard. I was a little insecure. You're gonna hear about it just now. Good evening once again, and welcome to another episode of Caribbean Feedback. My name is Curtis Henry, and we have a lovely panel with us this evening. 3 of our regulars, 1 of our part-timers, and our most welcome guest this evening, Mr. Gerard Goodbody Fitness.
Good evening.
Sorry, the man describes his business and himself as God Body. So that's what I was just checking out to see if how I stand up.
I thought you was doing something else.
No, a little insecurity on my part.
I thought you was manufacturing fats. You know, people as fat and thing under the arm. It's kind of, you know.
No. This is not the forum for that. Not the forum for that. All right. So, what I'd like you to do, Sam, just go ahead. We're going to take a break for a short minute. And why don't you run those words from our sponsors for the show?
All right.
My name is Karin Forrester. I represent BantuKreations. BantuKreations offers beautifully made, African-inspired, lightweight, handcrafted, one-of-a-kind earrings in wonderful shapes, shades, sizes, and colors. Please don't be scared of the large sizes. They're extremely lightweight earrings. BantuKreations can be found on IG and on Facebook as BantuKreations. That's BantuKreations with a K.
Come check me out, chriskeys.com. I'm worldwide.
Tony Altamirano.
Hi, I'm Gina.
What's up, everybody? I'm Win Vu, award-winning remixer.
Koya, I'm an artist.
Hi, my name's Justina Bethel.
Hi, I'm Mike Bowen from Denton, Texas.
How you doing? This is Tom Cuff from Music by Tom Cuff. Check out Samuel E. Archer's book, Hybrid Executive. We are in the business, and here's how you can be a better business person because you're running your business.
You can find my music at JustinaBeth_EL on Instagram or JustinaBethel.com, and I am a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive, just like you.
Follow me at Koya Music, and I'm also a hybrid executive.
I'm worldwide, baby, but just know I'm a hybrid executive. That's all you need to know, baby.
Get on up, B.
Check out my music, MikeBowen.com. I'm a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive.
Thank you so much. Sitting in with us this evening, we also have our esteemed colleague, Mr. Mark Chase. Why don't you introduce yourself, tell the people who you are and what it is you do.
Good evening. I'm Mark Chase, CEO of Chase Audit Services. We provide audit and accounting services for both government and retail. If you have a problem, call me. We'll figure it out. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mark Chase. Thank you. Thank you, Sherry Ann Sylvester, for tuning in. Pleasant good night to you also. Sitting in with us this evening, we have a very esteemed guest, Gerard from God Body Fitness. Gerard, please introduce yourself and let us know who you are and what it is you do.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. I appreciate that. Well, my name is Gerard, and I do represent my company, God Body Fitness. One of the things that I do is a fitness instructor, and I'm also a mentor, and all that goes to promoting fitness and health. So what I'm here today to do is share and talk about the importance of your health being the real wealth of your life and being. So your health is your wealth is the topic. Any questions anyone has about fitness and health, I want to try to bring everything together and see how it all fits and how it all correlates with one another. Not only your physical health, but your mental, your spiritual health, they're all connected in one form or another. So that's what I'll be sharing today, Mr. Henry. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Gerard. What I am going to do, Dr. Judith and Mr. Carter, when we enter the second segment, we get a chance for you all to elaborate and tell us about yourselves. Let me share some thoughts with you all. As a child growing up in the Caribbean, we played. Mostly outside of the house. We ran around, we climbed trees. We made a lot of the toys that we played with. We explored nearby wooded areas. As normal children everywhere, we crave candy. We ate lots of it, but we balanced our diets with a regular intake of fruits and nuts. We drank water from standpipes. And believe it or not, we barely got sick. In those days, getting sick meant catching a cold or being stung by a wasp or a bee because of our own mischievousness. The most severe cases of an illness we saw in one of our peers was an epileptic seizure, or fits as we called it back home. Let's fast forward into the late 20th century, early 21st century, where we see an entire wing of a hospital that is geared towards treating children with cancer. Please explain to us, Gerard, and I want Karin as a healthcare professional to join into this also. Explain to us what has gone so terribly wrong with the way we are feeding our children.
Oh, definitely. I would love to touch on that, Mr. Henry. Number one, what you eat, I know we've all heard you are what you eat. Well, there's some truth to that, because what you eat is really going to determine your majority of your overall health. You know, I know you touched on a lot of things about oral hygiene. And one of the things that I don't know, well, it's almost as if, did you know your oral health kind of gives clues about your overall health? It's almost as if the mouth acts as a portal of entry for infections. So like everything that you eat somehow affects the way you think as well. You know, that's why physical health and oral health has a lot to do with your overall health. And one of the things I want to touch on is what physical health is designed for. And it's really designed to exclude or exude energy for the purpose of keeping the body in optimum health. Not just to look good, but to feel good. A lot of times, the activity, physical activity, it can improve your health, and it can improve your health as well as the risk of catching other diseases that's specifically designed for your health, your overall health. Are you there?
Yes.
Oh, yes, we hear. We expect a little.
Yeah. So I also want to name, like, the main purpose of exercise is definitely to improve like your muscle strength and to boost your endurance. It also is designed, yes, it's designed to deliver oxygen and nutrients to the tissues to help your cardiovascular. As we know, in the Black nation, one of the leading causes of death is cardiovascular heart disease. And a lot of that has to do with the foods we eat, bringing it back to you, Mr. Henry. A lot of times the food that we eat, we call it soul food. We call it, Black food, grease. Island food, a lot of that grease, a lot of that fried food. Yes. What it does is it clogs up the arteries around your heart. And without the physical exercise, without any type of physical exercise, all it does is clog up in those arteries. All those steaks and those chicken and all that fried, greasy food, if you're not running and exuding some type of energy, all it's doing is clogging up. And that's how we have heart failure. And once again, that's the leading cause of death in our nation is heart failure.
So touch a bit for me on the overconsumption of sugar that a lot of us tend to feed children.
Now that's where health comes in at. When we go to the grocery stores, you have to read the labels because you have to eat clean. You have to stay away from things that's added sugars. And I can't touch on enough how almost everything in the supermarket has added sugars to it. So you have to be careful and you have to minimize it. It's minimized. It seems like we live in a culture, in an American culture. I know everybody has different connections to different islands and Caribbean places, but American culture, all we do is eat. That's all we do is eat. And eating a lot definitely isn't promoting any health for us. Definitely. Because like in America, we are number one in obesity. That's a problem in our children.
20.
And, you know,
sorry.
Go ahead, Karen.
No, 20, 30 years ago, I think that most of the population thought that young children were protected against heart disease. But what many studies have proven is that heart disease starts in those teen years and those early to late teen years into your 20s, when they study the valves and the plaques that build up. It takes time. 30, 40 years in of eating those high fat, high sugar items, your liver and everything gets fatty. And that's what's leading to all these illnesses later on. It's not that it just appeared overnight. You've been eating poorly since you were probably preteens.
Also,
and
Karen,
nobody warns you against that.
Also, the quality of food.
Absolutely. High salt, high sugar.
A lot of times they have what they call grade A food and they have what you call grade D food. And a lot of us, because we can't afford to eat the grade A food, we suffer in our longevity and how long we live because of what you eat. Having big muscles, Mr. Henry, that's good and great. That's good to have big muscles, but that doesn't keep you living long. That muscle is good because when you build muscle, you automatically burn fat. There's a science to that. But
tell me something. What is the best time of day to exercise? Now, because of corporate greed, we have gyms that open 24 hours, where people go into the gym at midnight and start exercising. Is there a better time of the day to get in this workout?
Not technically, to each his own. What I will say is you want to coordinate your exercise with your sleep patterns because everyone's job is different. So everyone's sleeping is different. And your eating. So you want to kind of correlate your workouts in between what you eat, like your eating time and your sleeping time. But it doesn't matter. Fitness is for life. Like people say you're supposed to rest certain days, like full body workouts every day, no days off. Maybe some days are lighter than others, but simply stretching is a physical exercise. Simply stretching is going to do more, from my opinion. From my opinion, stretching does more than lifting weights and working out because it ensures your flexibility. And that's what increases your longevity, Mr. Henry. Your flexibility, because as we get older, we know our bodies deteriorate. They get brittle. So as soon as you reach up for something or reach down for something, if you're not flexible, something's going to pull or pop, correct? We all have these success stories of someone in our family.
Well, I don't know. I've heard about that. This as you get old stuff. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm very far from that. That.
Right. Well, that's good. Well,
maybe the gentleman next to you could talk to that. I don't know anything about that. Getting that old word that you.
Well, I do want to add on that fitness is not just associated with physical, because what's physical is also mental. It correlates, because think about it. If you're not feeling good physically, somehow it affects you mentally, and vice versa. When you're going through something mentally, somehow it affects your physical health. So not only that, but your oral hygiene, I want to somehow bring it in, because in our community, I think mental health is real. And Like how we have to do something physically, we got to conduct in brain activities too. Something to get our children and our people's minds. Like let's get into what I call mental stimulation. Just like physical working out, you have to work out mentally, and whatever your faith is, spiritually as well, in order to have an overall sense of optimum health, in my opinion.
Let's talk about this oral thing that you keep talking about. I thought like Karin was saying something. Let me make this quick.
Okay.
Go ahead, Karin.
I just wanted to support what Gerard said earlier. A lot of people, first of all, oral hygiene and dental health is in such poor supply in our culture, especially in the Black communities. We don't go to the dentist until there's a major issue, like an abscess or some major infection. And one of the reasons that the dentist would prescribe prophylactic or preventive antibiotic is because whatever that infection is, literally is able to travel to your heart muscle and physically damage your heart.
Yes.
And that is something that people don't think about. Oh, so he gave me some antibiotics to take before he can do any dental surgery. It's to prevent your heart muscle from being physically injured from the infectious process.
That's the question I was about to ask.
Okay. All right.
That because short story here. Some months ago, a guy came to us in the mall where I generally check my friend, and he's talking about, yeah, I'm gonna go to Jamaica, and he wants to know where the parties are and where he can find some girls. And while he's talking to us, everybody's standing there looking at him, and nobody's responding. And I'm saying, I wonder if everybody's seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. And I just about had enough of it, and I said, bro, that money you're going to spend to go to Jamaica and party, you need to go visit the dentist. Because about four teeth at the top, from the top of his mouth going back in one direction were just roots. Just roots.
Well,
like they were just drooling. And you standing there talking about going on vacation to meet girls. Bro, ain't nobody want you.
Well,
spend that money and go to the dentist.
There's definitely a connection between oral health and your overall health. For instance, like Karin was saying, tooth decay and gum disease, they can lead to serious health problems. Like brain, heart infections. It's like when the bacteria travels from your mouth to your lungs, it can cause pneumonia or emphysema. It's all oral. Just like when something's infected in your body, it can affect you orally. It's like one and the same. There's not one without the other. We're inexplicably intertwined. Mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and soul.
I equate it to eating rotten meat because it's something rotten in your body and you actually taking it back in. So
right. So
all of that bacteria.
Oral definitely plays a play because think about it. Your oral. Well, I mean, I want everyone to research it. I want everyone to research how does oral hygiene and oral health affect your overall health so people can see. Me telling you is one thing, but I want everyone to research. We have Google at our fingertips. So there's no excuse on researching the information that's being presented here. We all must take that into account.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room right now. The American population has bought and consumed X amount of water per day. So much to the point that some of us right now are walking around with a bottle of water everywhere we go. Meanwhile, in Arab countries where it's very humid, dry conditions, the people over there don't consume as much water as we do in America. And they don't buy into this 8 ounces or 8 bottles or whatever that is prescribed here. To me, this is my opinion. I think this is an American thing in terms of this because I've heard other people from other countries disagree with this 8 ounces per day.
Well, I want to agree with you in part and disagree in part. I agree with you about specifically the 8 bottles of water, but it's definitely a science that you can prove that your body is made up of water. Your muscles is made up of water. that somehow in order to replenish yourself, like all life comes through water, if you think about it. So your body needs water. Now, how much water? Then yes, America puts their label on 8 bottles of water. But definitely consuming a lot of water daily is 100% healthy. That's not a myth. You can research that.
There are over 250 different brands of water. A lot of them are.
Well, yes.
So that's one of the reasons the
monopolize all
industry
that.
is huge. So, you know.
Well, hey, Karen, remember about the different grades of food? There's different grades of water.
Oh, sure.
There's grade A water, and then there's water like what was in Michigan when there was lead. There was lead in the water, and it was messing up the children. And you never know where it comes from. You think your child is slow or that he has a handicap, but really where the areas where we live at, that's another part of health, because we live in impoverished areas and we can't afford to live outside of our means. So where we live at, it's old. They just put lipstick on a pig and paint the walls, but it had lead in it, and it affects our children mentally. There was a big lawsuit about that. If you stay in underprivileged places, a lot of time the waters have lead in it, and it affects you mentally. You're not going to see it in your child's physically. All you thinking is your son is slow or your daughter's slow, but it's not that. It's something that affected them that we can't see with our physical eyes. I always say what you see with your physical eyes is an illusion.
Let me ask something. Let me go around the room here. Starting with Karin, I'll bring it around. How many hours of sleep does it take for you to function at optimum performance the following day?
Minimum 6. Minimum 6. I prefer 8, but minimum 6. By mid-afternoon, less than 6 hours, I am a mess. I'm groggy. I'm listless. No. Minimum 6 hours to me. 8 is preferable. I value sleep.
I don't really know right now how much sleep I need. I probably work with about maybe 4 or 5 hours, give and take.
Mr. Chase. Okay.
I need like a week. I think a week of sleep should be good for me. Like a good week of sleep.
Well,
Mark, you said 4 or 5?
4 or 5.
Mr. Carter.
I would say about 4 or 5, but at different times, because sometimes I go to bed at 12 o'clock. I get up at 3, I can't go back to sleep, but during the day I will go to sleep. So I don't know if you're talking about continuous sleep, or since I'm retired, I sleep whenever I want. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Whenever I feel sleepy. Yeah.
Dr. Judith.
Yes, sir.
It looked like you were sleeping now.
It worked. With all this talk of sleep, it's time for me to go.
How much sleep does it take for you to operate at peak performance?
I believe that I should have at least 7. I don't, but I believe that I should have at least 7. I think I get on the average 5 to 6, but it's not enough. I know it's not. And I'm getting these little things under my eyes now, so I know it's not enough. So, but I would say for me, 7 would be ideal. 8 would be a treat.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It is beautiful.
If I even sleep for 7-8 hours, I get up with excessive body pains. That's just too long, laying down for too long.
That's your brain.
I function well on 4 to 5 hours sleep. And that's every night. And I've been doing this for God knows how long. But is there this recommended 8 hours? Once again, that's something the doctor said. There's a lot of things the doctors say that incorrect in terms of this intake of protein, which has nothing to do but help the farmers sell their beef. That we need to consume all of this protein and we need to consume these eggs, which is nothing but an aborted fetus. And they sell us on these things. And so I'm trying to figure out if this 8 hours of sleep that they sell us on, if that's the norm, or are you good with less than that, Gerard?
I agree with you. I think it depends on your body type, and it's almost like we all know genetics play a factor. Yes, exercise and fitness improves the quality of sleep. Yeah, we need it. I don't believe we need 8 hours because if you times 8 hours, times a week, times a month, times a year, you're sleeping a whole lot times your lifetime. And yes, sleeping is necessary. But I mean, like a lot of times, Mr. Henry, you associate things with like America standards, and a lot of time America standards is based on Europeans, where our body types aren't necessarily equipped the same in a similar manner. Like for instance, a black man can work in the sun all day long. Not that a white person or a Spanish person couldn't. It's just like the black person supersedes them in that aspect right there. So we might need more water than one of our counterparts, is what I'm saying. Because everybody's body's different. Just like black people are more prone to certain things, and our counterparts are more prone to other things that our bodies don't really develop. So to answer your question, whatever your body needs to replenish itself.
Let's move right along to some of the brothers who hit the gym. This is geared towards you, Gerard. Let's gear this one towards Sam. Some of the brothers who drink these energy drinks because you have to stay up, because you have a mix, because you have a party, because you have something to do. You have to do a recording. So they shoot down these energy drinks. How safe or unsafe are these products for people to be consuming?
You're asking me or you're asking Jared?
Well, I sort of throw the blame on you as a musician.
Yeah, because I drink coffee. So my coffee is my energy drink. Right. And then I have some water to wash it down.
Well, actually, exercise increases like your endurance and your energy level. Most people think it's a myth. It's like when you hit the gym, it's like you're real tired. And if I work out before work, I'm not going to have energy to go to work. But it actually works the reverse way. When you start working out, it actually gives you that energy to where you might don't need an energy drink. Because those are a lot of added sugars. I see someone else commented about the water. They're all different, but they're added sugars to it. And that's what you got to minimize and stay away from.
They add sugar to the water too?
Yeah,
there are
someone said
bull semen?
Yes.
Yeah, does anyone here consume bull semen?
Who?
Bull semen.
No.
Bull semen.
No.
Red Bull,
ox bile, the bile from an ox.
Yeah,
that stuff called taurine. So you need to pay attention to some of these energy drinks that you're drinking and look for that ingredient in there called taurine and find out what it is. That is an extract from bull's semen.
And that's what I want to touch on. Reading them labels is what I want to leave with.
Wait, hold up. Why are we touching on taurine?
Taurine?
Yeah, why are we touching on that?
Because it makes you bullish.
And people drink
I don't want to touch it.
People consume.
Makes you
I don't want to touch anything.
People consume these drinks.
Bullish.
My goodness.
So somehow, did I strike a nerve, Gerard?
Did you strike a nerve about the water? Nah.
Yeah. No, about the taurine.
About taurine.
Oh. No, I agree with you because a lot of times, one thing about the awareness that I want to get out is it's important for us to start reading. Definitely reading overall, but reading what we're consuming, like you just said. Do you know what that is? You'll read a label, and just because you don't know what the word is, you'll skip over it. We need to start reading, looking up these words, researching it, because you don't know what not only are you feeding yourself, but your loved ones.
So what? I need to walk around with a dictionary now?
Well,
you have a dictionary right
here.
here.
No, you have Google.
Dictionary is right here.
No, well, you're going to offend Judith. You're going to offend Judith.
Just Google it, Sam. Just Google it.
She don't like the expensive phones.
It doesn't have to be an expensive phone. Stop it. Let's not go back in that.
Oh, hush.
So hold on.
Here's your dictionary.
What is wrong with taurine?
Well, let's look it up.
Is it something that's icky? That's why we don't want to touch it.
Icky.
Oh, Lord.
Which century did you go back for that word? God, stop it. Icky. That is like God.
Let me go to the comments. Sherry Ann Sylvester said, I don't think coffee is that healthy, Sam. Derek D'Souza, Mr. Wondred, he said, yes, I did strike that nerve. Someone who said that exercise will help you have a productive day, which what he's trying to say is that it's best if you start in the morning. If you exercise in the morning, I presume is what he's alluding to. And Mr. Roberts said that some of the water has additives. Example, the Dasani has added salt.
The Dasani is, oh gosh.
So, but what I want to find out is, could sex be considered an exercise?
Absolutely.
100%. It's a scientific fact that sex does burn calories, and calories do increase your weight, which increases your risk of certain diseases. So yes.
It all depends. It all depends on.
We said that with authority here.
It all depends on.
So when the guy said, he said,
let's hear from Mark. What do you say?
I've been listening very carefully, and I understand health and all this, but I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not giving up oxtail. I'm not giving up goat. I'm not giving up curry. I'm not giving up banana. And there's a few other things, including rum and bourbon. You understand? I'm gonna be dead or something. I done been here this long.
Gonna be dead or something.
One of the things I always try to get home to carnivores. You want to be as big and healthy as the ox. You don't eat the ox. You eat what the ox eat, which is grass.
You eat cow?
Grass.
Oh, help this man, please. I'm looking up. This time we want some help. If you think I can put my head down to eat grass, this is mine gone. I just pray for help. I pray for help. Oh my God. If you think I can wait for me to eat grass, you're mad. I'm taking you straight to the mad house.
Look, I just wanted to know if sex is considered an exercise.
Already answered. That was already answered.
Not everybody want to get up in the morning and run down the road, you know?
Depends on the duration.
Gerard,
yes.
If someone had, say, Gerard, if someone had, say, about 20 minutes to spare in the daytime because they're so very active, what particular exercise or movements would you advise to, as an effective workout if all you have is like a 20-minute window?
Okay, well, 20-minute window, I would definitely advise someone to spend 5 minutes on stretching and warming up with some stretching and warm up exercises, and really try to get a full body in with maybe 10 to 12 minutes. As far as like, if someone has 20 minutes, simple exercises, maybe pick 3 exercises and do all 3 exercises and then rest. For an example, if you have 15 minutes, once again, you would stretch and warm up for 5 minutes, 2.5 minutes apiece to stretch and warm up, maybe like a quick a jog. But as you get into the meat of it, the exercise, maybe you do a set of jumping jacks, however many the number or however many the seconds, maybe like some squats, and then let's just say some push-ups. Those are 3 exercises that you do consecutively back to back from one another, and then you rest. Because what happens is, as soon as you do a jumping jack and you go straight into a squat, and then you go straight into a push-up, your heart is going to be elevated as if, and that's what you want. I tell people that all the time. If you're working out in the gym and you're not doing anything. So I tell people that all the time.
Gerard. How old are you, brother?
I'm in my 40s.
Well, I salute you on that. You look well. You look well.
I'm in my mid-40s.
You look well.
I'm in my mid-40s.
You look well. The brother's pumped. You know, we can see you walk the walk. You're not just talking. You actually, you look built. But come on, for somebody like myself, right? I'm over 50.
Okay.
I'm closing in on 60.
Okay.
I used to have a six-pack.
Okay. I got these weight trainers.
Hold on.
I'm gonna get you that 6-pack back.
Wait. So it's a one. What you have now? A 1-pack?
Hold on. But let me finish. Bro.
Is a 1-pack? You a 1-pack man now?
No, I used to have a 6-pack. I have a keg now. I drank the 6-pack, and now I have a keg. So I think it might be a little. I don't think Come on.
Hold on.
59 years old. You think there's any hope for me to be trained that 6-pack?
Absolutely. Let me show you. As if, for an example, as if you had stairs at your house. If you had to go up your stairs, up, down, and up, wouldn't you be breathing? Wouldn't all of us be breathing like? So you're saying you're 50, 60, pushing 60. I'm not asking you to start running and diving and doing all kind of acrobatic athlete type things, but you can walk up and down the stairs and it's going to cause your heart rate to go up, and you're going to be ensuring your health because you're going to be burning all that grease that clogs up around our heart because we don't do any type of physical exercise. We go from the home to the car, to the business, to the car, to home. We're not walking anywhere. We're not walking anywhere.
If you're having sex, you still have to go and walk?
Hi.
Excuse me?
If you're having sex, you still have to go and walk?
No. Well,
walk before.
Well, walk after you eat. A lot of times, after you eat, the first thing we do is this. After we eat, we go lay down. All that does is put all that food in the bottom of your stomach. After you eat, we should walk around the block.
So wait, that keeps the food on top? I don't understand.
Well, you gotta. It's a balance. It's a balance.
But you mentioned just now about walking up the step, down the step.
Well, that's one exercise.
No, I can do that. I can walk up the step, and I'll walk back down tomorrow.
Yeah. Curtis, you're just gonna do nothing but fall out.
Well, you do it.
That's why we're gonna have to come get you. You have to eat some crap.
Well, here's something else. Like a lot of times I get clients who say they can't do a lot of running and jumping because they're heavier or their knees and their ankles and their feet are bad. Try other exercises like resistance bands and swimming. Swimming is a great exercise. If you know how to swim or if you can learn how to swim, that'll be a great exercise for you to burn calories, which definitely is going to improve your overall health. We have to do something because if you do nothing, that's what you would get, nothing.
Gerard, could I ask you a question, please?
Sure.
I heard this before that if you, if you have a lot of muscle, that you don't, and no matter how much you work out or whatever, you don't lose weight, you lose inches. Is that true?
I don't know if you're saying it right, but are you trying to say?
I might be saying it incorrectly.
Right, because are you trying to say, like, you can work out and you can like trim up but you won't lose weight. You will only trim up your weight.
I'll tell you what happened to me. I've been working out over 20 years.
Okay.
And
good.
What happens to me is that I can actually lose 2 dress sizes, but I don't lose any pounds.
Right, that's trimming up because muscle burns fat. You're right.
Okay.
It's an illusion like that. No, you're absolutely right. People can work out and lose weight, but they still the same size and they can't understand that.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Dr. Judith, you've been working out for the last 20 years?
Yes, sir.
I like that. Motivation.
And
Stay
I do
motivated.
this, and I do all that stuff. And I do it. I do to the count of 100.
I noticed Mark trying to talk to you. So I'm wondering if Mark wants oxtail and bourbon and all kind of thing, and you working out for the last 20 years, I wonder how he gonna look.
Listen, you're a madman. Listen, I believe in, I like oxtail, okay? I like certain foods, but what I have learned is that I eat a little bit of what I like, and I don't deny myself chocolate, I don't deny myself cookies. I have, 5 years ago, I went to the doctor and he said my sugar was up. Now, first of all, when my reason, I'm not a medical professional, when they say your sugar is up, I go to him once a year and my sugar is slightly elevated. Now, first of all, they have this thing called the white coat syndrome. You go to the doctor and everything is up. Your pressure is up, everything is up because you're so nervous about the visit. So my reason is this. If you see me once a year and my sugar is up a little bit, why is that one thing going to determine how I live all the time? So what he did is he started to put me on, he called a pharmacy and told them to call me with metformin, which I think is one of the worst medications to give anybody that has diabetes. And I've been talking to people for years about this metformin thing. So the pharmacy calls me. I call the doctor's office. I said, listen, you don't know who Judith Barnes is, because if you did, you wouldn't have done that. You cannot have a pharmacy call me about medication you didn't discuss with me. I'm not taking it. I said, now what you should have done, is call me and say, Ms. Barnes, let's see if we can work out a new diet for you. Let's see if we can include more in a physical workout for you. That's how you have to talk to somebody like me, because you can't just tell me you're going to put me on something without talking to me about it. So they got a little defensive. I've never taken the medication. I continue to work out, and my blood sugar is probably going to be a little elevated all the time. And that's the other thing. I found out that some people's bodies make more cholesterol than other people's bodies. So that tends to make our cholesterol a little higher. But whatever it is, and I guess I'm kind of, well, whatever. My feeling is that when the doctor talks to us, we are supposed to ask questions.
Absolutely.
We're supposed to discuss our bodies with them. A doctor is only as good as the information you give them. And if I tell you what's going on with my body and you don't live in it, now there's certain things I don't know medically, but what I do know is that tell me how to eat differently, and maybe I can avoid taking medication.
I'm not telling you that.
And what you were saying earlier, Gerard, about bread. Black folks, I watch black folks buy bread, and they buy, and sometimes it's a matter of 50 cents difference. But what we're concentrating on is quantity. Maybe you buy the other one that costs 50 cents more, but it don't last that long. Maybe you need to be eating one slice. I like cake. I like all those things, but I don't eat a lot of it. And I don't believe that every time I eat something, I must finish the package.
Right. Now that's what's been keeping you in good health, because that's positive what you said about I don't deny myself anything. I just real small portions.
Yeah, bourbon I don't take. I don't take bourbon. I don't none of those the brown liquids. I don't take none of them things.
No, but it provides balance. Like if Mark drink the bourbon, but you exercise, it's gonna, he can
drink all the bourbon he wants. He can drink all the bourbon he wants. I won't be around him.
Okay, so gentlemen, let me ask you something, Gerard. Let me ask you something, Gerard. So what recommendations would you have for somebody my age in terms of I'm just getting back on track, right?
Okay.
Let's say, look, now mind you, let me let you know a little secret. I'm ex-military.
Okay.
Practiced martial arts for several years. Fought in tournaments. Fought full contact. Now I look like a pregnant pencil. I'm still skinny. I'm still skinny, but I have this.
A pregnant pencil, brethren.
The best advice that I can give you with, definitely you have to have some type of moderate exercise. You're gonna have to find something you like to do: ride a bike, walk, rowing. You're gonna have to find something. Do you have a garden? You're gonna but the main thing is this.
Curtis, stop that.
It's
what
you
eat.
What is that?
Listen, definitely what you eat. Listen, Mr. Henry, work at the gym. It's an old saying where they say abs aren't made in the gym; they're made in the kitchen.
Okay.
Right. You working out is not going to get that off, Mr. Henry. It's what you eat. So you need to do like Dr. Judith does, and I would recommend that you would start eating small portions more times a day. Not starve yourself. If you eat 3 meals a day, eat 6 and small portions. That definitely will get all that weight off. That's definitely to get all that weight off. It's what
but
you
Curtis eats late at night also.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you something else. There's real quick, Mr. Samuel. It's an Egyptian philosophy that you're supposed to eat when the sun is up the highest. Because we all know that our celestial beings and our terrestrial beings somehow have some type of powers, from the sun, moon, and stars to human life. So it's an Egyptian philosophy that you're supposed to eat when the sun is up the highest. The sun is up the highest between 12 and 5. Once the sun is starting to go down, the sun has some type of powers that it helps digest the food. So when we eat at 8, 9 o'clock, I'm guilty too. When we go out to eat at 8, 9, and 10
I'm not going in my bed until 2 in the morning. How can I survive if I stop eating at 5 in the evening?
Eat something healthy. Eat some egg
Go
whites.
to bed earlier.
No, eat something healthy.
There's no eggs.
No, I don't add some eggs. No, I don't eat aborted chicken fetuses. That's what that is. It's an aborted fetus of a chicken. I don't eat that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something else, Mr. Henry. I heard a lot of people say, "I'm not giving this up. I'm not giving that up." And I hear you say a lot about the American culture. The American culture is meat every meal. You gotta have meat every meal. If you come to my house and I invite you to dinner and there's no meat on the plate, you're gonna be looking like, well, I'm waiting on the main course.
Not me.
And that gets us
obesity. Not me.
Meat every meal.
Sir, I've cut that out of my diet from 19. What year were you born? What year were you born, John?
I was born in the 70s. In the 70s.
No, serious. What year?
78.
Okay, I stopped eating meat in 76.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so now before you leave, what kind of exercise would you recommend for Dr. Whitty, somebody his age?
Dr. Whitty? Oh, Dr. Whitty. I would recommend more sedentary type exercise with resistant bands, as if you're sitting here. It's like arm rotation that does a lot. Not only just for men, but for women. Like if you have a lot of fat in your shoulders and your back, a lot of stuff like this, just sitting in your chair, doing this until you can't do anymore. Don't count it. You stop when your body says that's enough, and you go faster and faster. Believe it or not, if you wake up in the morning, Mr. Dr. Whitty, all of this is going to be sore. Also, you can sit there and throw punches. Throw combinations. Trust me, I got that. You're gonna burn all of this.
Yeah. True.
Also, for somebody like Mr. Whitty, because I am a silver sneaker certification, so a lot of squats and exercises in the chair, standing up, doing stuff like this.
Got you.
This is a squat while sitting in a chair.
So does anyone here?
I do a little.
Could Whitty, you want to divulge to these people how old you are?
Did I freeze again?
Sure.
No.
Mr. Carter,
yes,
you're
sir.
kind of frozen.
I'm frozen
right now.
No, I'm good.
Okay, maybe it's just on my screen. Could you divulge to this audience, this panel here, how old you are?
Well, if you live long enough, you'll be like me. In December, I'll be 80.
Whoa! Awesome. Awesome.
December 4th, I'll be 80.
Black don't crack.
Then.
All right.
That's right, baby. Black don't crack.
And I do everything in moderation. I do everything in moderation. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, I don't have no specific diet. I don't adhere to no rigorous gym. I do a little exercise every now and then. You know, so but I'm cool. Everything is working so far. Sometimes it works a little less, but it's still working.
Wonderful. 80. Wow.
Some things are working a little less, but it is still working.
Samuel Archer, stop it.
I am trying to understand what he is saying. What it is
so,
that
Sam.
Okay, I can't walk far.
Leave my friend alone. Leave my friend alone. Right. You know.
I'll answer. I can't walk too far, Sam.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm just. Do you have a Is it a picture you have, or is your screen frozen?
That's me. I'm here.
Who is he talking to?
You in the corner?
Who you talking to? Me?
Dr. Whitty.
Yeah.
He's right there.
Are you guys seeing me?
All right, listen. We went well over the time allotted for this particular segment because it was, in fact, a very intense conversation, and I really didn't want to cut it short. But I want to give the remaining few minutes we have to Gerard. I'd like for you to talk about your products, and before you leave, I want you to tell the people. Give us a few gems first.
A few what?
Something that you can take away. Gems. Gems.
Some jewels.
Yes,
Some jewels of life.
And tell us about the product. Tell us about that product that you're showing us.
Well, actually, I have. If you go to God Body Fitness Inc., I have a website. I'm also on Amazon and eBay. If you go on Amazon and type in God Body Waist Trainers, I have these 3-in-1s to where they go over your thighs. They're a thigh toner, a butt toner, and an ab stabilizer. They go over your thighs. They're a 3-in-1, and I also have the just ones for those who just want to wear these. And they actually work. The material is great. I have a lot of great reviews on them, and they actually are designed to compress your abs and stabilize them. So if you wear this here, not only does it support your back, but you know, women with big chests, but these are unisexual for men as well. Definitely. You can wear these under your clothes, you can wear it over your clothes. I wear them, I support them. I have abs.
So you're saying like during the day, you're saying I should wear that all day?
Absolutely. Under your clothes. Like definitely, you don't have to work out to wear this because it's going to support your back. These are the ones, and I have the 3-in-1s where it goes over your waist, your butt, and your thighs for women, and these are the ones for men. But they're all unisexual. It just depends on your preference. But definitely for for ab stabilization. But as far as a jewel goes, I want to leave everyone with the fact that we must invest into ourselves. Everything that we purchase, everything that we eat, everything that we do, start looking at it as an investment. We're not renting anything that has to do with ourselves. We are investing. We are investing into our life and our longevity. And what I want to leave with everybody is the fact that your health is your wealth. And that means an astronomical amount to all of us. Pay attention, because the whole purpose of life is self-preservation. That means we have to try to live as long as we can, as healthy as we can. And that's what I want to leave it with. You know, the purpose of life is self-preservation. We must preserve self. Before you can do anything for your children and your family, you have to first be in shape in order to take care of them. So your health is your wealth. Stay in optimum performance. Always try to do something. It doesn't matter, Mr. Whitty. Just take a pencil and drop it on the ground and bend down and pick it up and stand all the way up. Drop it on the ground, bend down, squat down, and pick it all the way up. those little exercises, no matter how funny they may seem,
Yep.
will increase your longevity.
Yep.
Because sometimes your mind outlives your body. What do?
True, true.
What do you do when your mind outlives your body? So we got to keep our mind and body on the same page. So that's what I
agree.
Thank you all so much for having me out. I really appreciate it.
Please, before you leave, tell the people where they can find you.
Okay, where you can find me is godbodyfitnessinc.com. Here's my website. You can go on there. You can find me on Amazon. You can find me on eBay. godbodyfitness.com. You'll type me up. You'll see me. Once again, y'all come out and support waist trainers, resistant bands. I got a lot of new products coming. And I thank you all for the support. Black-owned businesses, we're on the rise. We must support each other because that's what our counterparts do amongst themselves. So keep in mind, we do have to support our own people. So once again, thank you for having me out. I look forward to coming back.
Okay, thank you, Gerard. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
We look forward to meeting you again sometime and furthering this discussion. Thank you so much for joining us. As far as I'm concerned, if you woke up this morning on this side of the dirt, you are indeed blessed. More than the millions who are suffering and can't do anything about their health. So I agree. Exercise and let's keep our bodies and minds at optimum strength. Sam, take us to commercial.
Thank you. Bless up.
Hello there and welcome. My name is Curtis Henry. Over the past few weeks, as we were putting the final pieces together to get the show on the road, some people asked, why do you need to showcase Caribbean people? Why Caribbean Chat? And I say, why not? Because we as Caribbean people have worked too hard, come too far, and suffered too long for us to continue taking a backseat. It's time for us to rise up, speak out, and show the world the value and the richness of our culture. So I'm providing a platform to showcase the history and culture of Caribbean people in entertainment, the arts, politics, sports, and economics. We will explore the many profound contributions they have made to society. So we invite you to stay with us as we launch what is to become one of the greatest voices of Caribbean people, for Caribbean people, by Caribbean people. On this platform, Caribbean people of excellence get to tell their story. Our aim is to ensure that your contributions are acknowledged and celebrated. Welcome to Caribbean Chat. So make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and be sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We are Caribbean Chat.
That was a Karin.
Yes, man. That was a rooster.
You have
that was a rooster. Yes. So, Dr. Judith, at this time, please introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are and what it is you do.
The show done. We all introduced me first. Sorry. I am Dr. Judith Barnes, author, painter, extraordinary human being. Only one of me, as Sam Archer would say. After me, there's no one else.
That's right.
I am the mother of one child, a grown man now, and the Lord loves me and I love him. And I come from a very large family, and they're all very accomplished people and all that good stuff.
Thank you so
and
much,
by the
Mr.
way,
Carter.
I'm a very joyous person.
Mr. Carter, talk to us.
Yes, sir. Well, the name is Mervyn Carter, also called Dr. Witty in the Calypso circles. I am retired. All I do is sit around all day, right? And when I get the opportunity to sing, I sing. These days with the pandemic, what we do a little show called Calypso on the Avenue on Friday nights. So this Friday night, we're doing an inspirational show. I'll sing a couple songs, something way out of my way out of the stuff I normally sing. So I'll try to be nice and clean. But I am Dr. Witty because of the type of calypsos I sing. They're mostly double entendre and double meaning songs.
Your songs are very witty.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's right.
So that's what I do.
That's right.
Like I said, I'm just enjoying my time, living the life.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Archer.
Yes, sir.
I denied you the privilege, the opportunity to do what you so much love to do. Which episode are we at right now?
Well, let's get ready to go. 10, 20, 30, 7.
Episode number 37.
You're 5 on 1. We get 7.
That was 2. 5 and 2.
Oh, okay.
Clean the glasses. Give yourself a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Give yourself a round of applause. We keep pushing. We keep moving forward.
37 episodes.
Tonight. I want to
Excuse me, Mr. Henry. May I say something to Dr. Witty?
Yes, sir.
Look at him. He looks like, here she go again. I'm so sick of her. Dr. Witty, it's a pleasure to see you back, sir. I have not seen you in a long time. I understand you weren't feeling well, but I'm happy to know you're doing better. And it's good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Judith.
You're welcome.
She ain't tell me she happy to see me, but it's all right.
Right.
If I was controlling the buttons here, I cut you off the show a long time. Come on, Karin give you a kind of hi. Hey. Now Judith, come on, and she's giving you the same treatment.
That's okay.
Right? If I had the control of the button here, I cut you off a long time and send you.
That's okay. That's all right. I have enough control to cut you off, period. So keep messing with me.
All right, so the show for tonight, we call it Strange Encounters.
Oh, Lord.
Now, when I first mentioned the idea for this show, a lot of people were kind of apprehensive. Strange encounters. They want to know what kind of strange encounters we talking about. But let me talk about one thing to start things off. And I don't know how many of you all this happened to, but it happens to me a lot. Some medical experts describe it as a momentary alertness, but loss in voluntary muscle movement that occurs when you're just about to fall asleep or when you're just about to wake up. They call it sleep paralysis. There are some folks on the southern belt in middle America, they associate it with alien abduction. In the Caribbean, like in Jamaica, they say, Duppy, come look for me. Some people wake up and they swear something holding them down. And if you open your eye, you're seeing Jambi. If this experience is so common, as the doctors call it, sleep paralysis, then someone please explain to me, how is it that everyone who experiences this have the same experience, such as feeling a presence in the room, or seeing demons, somebody hanging over them, or some figure standing up in the corner watching them? How is it, if this is just a paralysis from sleeping, where your body you wake up but your mind doesn't, or however they explain it? Why is it everybody who experiences it claim to see demons? Stuff that's out of this world, or some figure, ominous figure standing in the corner watching them or hanging over them. But one of the other things they say is that it's genetic. It may not just happen to you, it could end up happening to your children. Has any one of you in this room ever experienced this thing the experts call sleep paralysis? Go answer me all at one time.
All the time.
I've had strange encounters. I know about sleep paralysis.
No, let me hear it, Mark. Let me hear Mark.
They are what they told me I had night terrors because I would wake up beating the hell out of the footboard of the bed. I punching everything. I tearing the place up. Nobody there. Nobody there. And then I realized my hand all scuff up, not on my head because I boxed my head against some. I wake up, I'm fighting,
Maybe it's because of the things you do during the day.
Probably. And some of the ones I imagine I gonna do to you. So I try to
walk right into it, Dr. Judith. You walk right into it.
Oh, father friend.
Dr. Witty, come in. I see you had your hand up. Talk to me.
I have experienced that. I experienced that quite a few times. I would get up, and I know I'm trying to get up. I think I'm awake, but I can't get up. And sometimes I fight. As a matter of fact, I threw myself off the bed in order to shock myself. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not something that used to happen quite a few times. But doctor says I sleep on my back and I should try to sleep on my side. So sleeping on your back, these things, So I try to sleep on my side from time to time. So I haven't experienced it for quite a while, but I have experienced that. It's not a nice feeling.
Wondred said that was almost a nightly occurrence. Wondred said that was almost a nightly occurrence for him as a young boy in Tobago. So this is something a lot of us have experienced. Lucy said she had it, but she never saw any demon. Sherry-Ann says she experienced sleep paralysis in her younger years, and it usually happened when she was going through some sort of traumatic experience.
Stress.
For me personally, this is something that happened throughout my entire life. Somewhere in between sleep and wake, sometimes it's like the force almost wake me up. And I'm telling you, as sure as I'm sitting here, I've opened my eyes and seen objects in the room. Not a physical object, but it's almost like an energy force hanging over me or in front of me. And whatever they want to call it, you cannot tell me I didn't see what I saw. And you can't tell me that was sleep paralysis. So which world did I wake up in that now I'm beginning to see stuff that is not actually there? What is it that make a cat? How many of you have been in a room with an animal, a pet, and that cat would just get up, look around, and bounce? He may not run, but you just like, yo, you know what? I got it. What is it that cat saw that you or I cannot see? What is it our naked eyes cannot see that animal saw that make him just decide to get up and, you know what? I got it. Dogs
are naturally crazy. Cats are naturally crazy. That's why they do that.
I think, okay, let me simplify it for you. The cat smell a rat and left the room, went to get a rat or whatever he went to catch. Dr. Witty, because you're not sleeping on your side, when you wake up, your back was giving out and you couldn't move. So that's really what was happening.
You're diagnosing. Okay.
Yeah. So when Dr. Henry, when you thought you saw something in the corner watching you, you just need to clean your glasses. You just had a little thing in the corner in the glasses that was messing up the scene.
I don't sleep with glasses on.
You forgot
I just
them
started
on.
wearing glasses. This is all my life.
That's what was happening.
All my life, bro.
You don't normally see them, but you don't normally sleep with the glasses. But those times you saw something, you forgot the glasses on, and you saw that thing in the corner. You just need to clean out the dirt in the corner, and you're all right.
Look at this. Some years ago, I worked as a property manager right here in Lauderhill. And there was one particular apartment that had been boarded up for years, many years. The gentleman that I worked for in New York, he eventually bought that condo, and he gave me the code for the key the lockbox. and told me to go and see what needs to be done, get the apartment, get the condo ready for rental. From the minute I walked into that place, I felt a presence and I said, something evil happened in this apartment. What it was, I didn't know. I knew that something happened inside of there. And in the process of getting the room, getting the place together, there was a tiny hole on the wall. It was a bullet hole. And after I started inquiring, somebody said, you know, that place has been closed up for about 10 years. I said, why? The last occupant of that condominium shot his girlfriend, shot himself in the head, but was able to still walk out of the unit, walk to the street, and fell down and died. But he shot his girlfriend in the apartment, right in the living room. How is it I was able to sense this 10 years after
but that's a
it happened?
spiritual thing. That's a spiritual thing. That's spiritual. You don't have to understand it, but it's a spiritual thing.
Thank you.
Oh no, I understand it clearly, and it's one of those strange encounters that I'm speaking about.
But the thing I think with what you just described is that your sensibilities, and I'm going to say spiritual sensibilities, awakened you to something happened. You're not quite sure what it was, but something happened. But I don't know about, I don't see demons. I don't entertain people while I'm sleeping. I sleep. I'm one of those people that I sleep. I can fall asleep at the dining table. I sleep anywhere. And I'm grateful for that. I don't have a lot of interruptions. I go to sleep. Unless I have to go to the bathroom, I sleep. I've had what Dr. Whitty said, though, where I've had that feeling where I want to get up and I feel like I'm being pressed down. And it's a terrible feeling. And because what it is for me, and perhaps somebody said it earlier, is when you're having some kind of stressful situation going on that I feel out of control, so I feel pressed down. Now that I would buy any day, because a lot of what happens to us sometimes during sleep is what we can't manage when we're awake. So the dreams and all that stuff tries to work out what you can't figure out while you're in your waking hours. So I believe that pressure that I feel like Dr. Whitty's talking about is from my maybe feeling out of control of some things in my life that I can't seem to get control over.
There's an entire science dedicated to sleep studies, and all the how many decades they've been trying to figure out the real benefit of sleep. They can say, well, physically you feel tired, you're allowing yourself to refresh, but they have not been able to declaratively say, this is what sleep does. But just as you said, it's almost like a processing center. It's a time to process things. Mm-hmm. So I fully agree with that. My strange encounter, I got to cut in on this. When I was about 8 or 9, still in Jamaica, sitting on the veranda, I looked down this path, and what I would estimate, maybe about 100 feet away. Jamaicans call an owl a patu, right? And I see a patu that was about my height walking toward the house. All right. Another time, same damn path leading toward the house, but further down, like 1,000 feet down. I see a lady in full white wedding gown.
Oh gosh.
With a veil, little head thing, and the veil was behind her. It wasn't covering her face. Walking towards what I would, if I was sitting here, it would be to my right, actually. The graveyard was to the right, and I just blinked. She was gone. That was not my imagination. That was not any hallucinogenic medications or a sick child. That was a very healthy child. No, that is all part of the spiritual realm that we choose to ignore.
I agree.
The story is told.
Something that happened to me, I don't talk about often. My friend, another Guyanese guy, and I in the Bronx decided at 3 o'clock in the morning we're going to White Castle hamburger.
Nastiness.
Because it was pure nastiness. Because we had too much. And
I love White Castle.
Really?
We went down the Major Deegan Expressway, come off, get the hamburgers, get back on. So we in a hurry now because the hamburgers, you gotta eat them when they're hot.
Yes.
All right. So
tell them why. Tell them why your feet's been hot.
Because they're so nasty. It's so nasty and greasy.
Oh Lord.
So, I'm going 125 miles an hour down the Major Deegan Expressway. And I go to come off at 230th Street. I hit the brake, nothing. I said, oh God. Because there's it's just you come up and you go back over the overpass onto the Major Deegan. And I looking at my friend Alan, I said, we dead, man. All of a sudden, both of us felt a hand on our shoulder and said, relax. The wheel turned and the brakes engaged.
That's why you must behave yourself, because God has a hand on you. You keep messing up. You're not brown stuff.
Hold that one, sir. Hold that one. I gotta get to Anthony. Don't leave, because one of the stories I have to tell. I got to come to you on that. Leave that one, Sam. Leave that comment off. Leave that. So
that's 40 years, 45 years ago, and I still remember it. Like it just happened. Man, we drove home so slow. Look, I go at 15 miles an hour.
Yeah, man.
I just easy and pull the car in the parking spot. I didn't mess with it for a week. That was it.
No, are you ready for this one?
Yeah, tell us one.
All right.
Since Anthony coming here, I'm taking you all back to 1979. Anthony, how old were you then? Write that in the chat for us. How old were you then in 1979? This happened like about a week before I left Trinidad. Middle of the afternoon. The girl living next door, I will leave her name out because she's still around, but people still know her. I don't want to, but I'll talk about the story. Somebody said somebody put Jumbie on the girl next door. I heard her screaming and carried on and whatever. I went next door and okay. Anthony said he was 6. I don't know how much he would remember about this. But Abdul, this was in Montego. I don't know why I'm screaming, but I could talk normal. Anthony, that's Abdul. I call him Abdul. That was in Montego. Next door to the parlor. To the shop. The George shop. So I went next door and the girl was screaming and carrying on and automatically, he said he know. I said to myself that, maybe her father caught her doing something and she was just trying to cover it up. I dismissed that. Less than 5 minutes later, the girl from across the street. Now, we show the comments because Anthony agreed with me on this. He was 6 years old. Right? The girl across the street, who was 12 years old at the time, right, started screaming. They said something going on across the street. So I decided to get up. Me and Mustafa, God bless his soul, he left us last year. Mustafa and I decided to go across the street and see what was happening. And when we walked into those people's house, there was a 12-year-old girl sitting there. Her hair was all frazzled. She was Indian. And then she took in with something. It took 6 adult males to hold her down, and they couldn't hold this child. And this child started speaking in a voice that I've never heard, and I wish that I never hear again. But the stuff that you see in the movies, I witnessed that. This child, a 12-year-old child, while they were trying to hold her, she said something to the effect of, I'm standing there and I'm looking at this. No, she playing. Then she said that it's the man next door that was responsible for whatever this was going on. And she said, the voice said, look, he's looking through the window. He's peeping through the window right now. And we ran outside. No, we ran into the other bedroom, pulled the curtain and looked upstairs. And there was the man peeping by the window. How did this child know that? This force that was speaking in this child coming through her said the man was peeping through the window. We went there and peeped, and he was peeping through the window. Everything you saw in what movie was that? Omen?
Exorcist.
Exorcist. Except for that girl head turning, doing a 360. That I witnessed. With them two right here.
I think Dr. Judith have a story for us because she said she didn't want to hear.
I happened to leave Trinidad before this situation was resolved. And I got later on, they told me that they took the child somewhere to some mother somebody somewhere, and they do whatever they had to do, and the child ended up vomiting something equivalent to a block of cheese that came out of her when this whatever evil spirit, evil force was released from her body. She vomited up a block equivalent to a block of cheese. Looked like cheese, more melted cheese. And as Abdul said, he remembered the story and he was only 6 years old. What it is was happening. I'm glad that he joined us. I wish that Sharon was here. She was also a witness to that event also. So I don't know if anybody else's experience went as far as that, but if you do, now is the time. If you did, now is the time to talk.
That encounter was real high, brethren. That was a real high encounter.
Yeah, that was a high one, bro.
High encounter. But now,
real high one.
yeah, I saw it, and I'm telling it on a public forum for the first time. No, I had some other encounters that weren't that serious, but at the same time, they were strange. But let me not take up with you. I see you leaning forward. You have something to tell me.
I had, like you say, I had some encounters, but nothing as high as that. To me, it was strange at the time. I was a young police officer stationed in Aruka, and our jurisdiction went someplace down St. Helena, somewhere down there. An Indian man committed suicide, and they sent the police. I and another constable, another corporal went to see the man. Saw the man. He hung himself on a tree to the side of a river down an embankment. So it was around 5 o'clock that afternoon. The corporal says he's going to get the medical examiner back in those days to come back. And he left me there to guard the body. But it started getting a little twilight.
That's it, man.
And the villagers came and they saw it, but everybody went home, and I'm alone there with this man hanging from a tree. Well, I'm kind of getting worried because I'm there, you know. Those days we used to wear short pants, you know. Little mosquitoes and things biting me and things, you know. All of a sudden I hear a crash. When I look back, the man is no longer on the tree. You should see the skinny police in a short pants climbing up the hill, trying to get the hell out of there. must have run 100 yards. I must have run about 100 yards before I stopped. When I heard the police vehicle coming in the distance, I could hear we had a jeep, and I could hear the jeep coming. So I started to walk back. Corporal came with the guy, and he asked me when they reached back to the scene. He said, "So where's the body?" I said, "I don't know." What do you mean I don't know? I said it was hanging there. I heard that. I look back, I ain't see it.
Oh God!
apparently, the weight of the body broke a branch, and he fell down into the bushes down to the bottom. Yeah, that was strange.
So Witty, you was a police. What kind of police run an abandoned place?
It was getting late, dude. It was getting dark. It was getting kind of dark, dude. I alone and a dead man had moved. So hey, I took off, bro.
So wait, back in I remember the days when police had short pants. You only leave my guns then, right?
No guns. All I had is a baton.
So wait, you didn't.
I wasn't waiting to find out where
So,
I said, man moves. The dead man is no longer which man he was. And I didn't want to he was hanging no more.
You told the dead man was coming for you?
Oh God! I laugh for the day.
So you told the dead man was coming for you, so you ran away?
I don't know what I thought. I don't know. Look back and the man is no longer hanging. Time for me to run.
You know, I'm glad you ain't a police no more because I can't need to protect me.
I must have been about 22 years old, man. I ain't
oh God.
You know what I mean?
So Anthony say, and you didn't sing about that. How come you never write a challenge about that? Yeah?
I never sing about that. I can't put that in song.
I worked for the medical examiner in New York, and I drove the vans to pick up bodies. And was my father decided I should have a proper job. And I would, they'd send me to the place, pick up the body. I had the bag and zip them up and put them in a van. Well, it was wintertime, and I was doing it part-time when I was home for the holiday. And I picked up a man who had been frozen to death. They had declared him dead. And I put him in the bag. Me and my partner lifted him up, put him in the van. And, he was frozen, so why close the bag? Because you just got to take him out again when you get him to the morgue. I'm driving the van, and I hear somebody saying, "Are you taking me home?" Man sat up. He was drunk, and they had declared him dead. And you know what? We ended up driving him home. There was nothing left to do. There was nothing left to do. Neither one of us, we had been around dead bodies for so long, neither one of us got frightened by it. It was just, we got a live one back there. And he sat right up. Are you taking me home?
I would have crashed.
Okay. No. No.
Wait, hold up. So Oliver was driving to take him to the morgue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're taking him over to 30th Street.
He wake up and ask Oliver to drop him home.
You drop him home. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's happened. The 3 years that I worked in the New York City morgue, that happened to me twice. That happened to me twice.
Why year that happen? Why year that happen, man?
Hey, man. I'm always in the wrong place at the right time.
No, you know, my dad used to work at Bellevue, and he had a story about a guy that woke up in the morgue. And the guy wake up, he said, wow, it's very cold in here.
Listen, I worked right across the street in the 30th Street at the medical examiner's office where the morgue was. So that was my job, was to come put them in the lockers. We used to call them the meat lockers. And, you know, put the tag on their toe, close the door. But this guy, he woke up, he wanted to ride home. I picked him up on the Bowery and drove him to 38th Street and 2nd Avenue. Drop him off. It didn't matter.
Yeah, I think some people, they would either have a stroke or some sort of something, and then they come out of it. So they declare them dead, but they're still alive. And then, you know, so the guy who was in the morgue, he wake up and he feeling cold.
That's what led, Sam, that's what led to the standards and practice changing in the medical field, where they either have to do like an EKG or an EEG to say, okay, no further functioning. Because there have been a lot of stories like what you've got.
Yeah, I heard stories where people wake up, they wake up in the funeral, you know, the funeral going on, and they wake up from the
But they're supposed to be prepped. So why would that get to that point?
It was a story. It's a story.
Depends. It depends on their religious.
No, it depends on the year, because not all the time they would go through the process and clean the body out. It depends on what it, you know. In fact, the one I heard about was in Guyana. That was like a true story. He had probably it was a stroke. They declared him dead, and during the funeral, he wake up, and people roll out.
Good night. I am just Georgia K. Good night. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Good
night, Georgia K.
Witty, talk to me. Didn't you have some sort of experience, or what was it? Some kind of outing you went to, actually in the morgue at some time, some years.
Outing?
I don't know. What was it?
Indian lady got burnt to death. Like I said, I was a police officer in Chicago.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So they sent me to witness the post-mortem. This body is burnt beyond recognition. So the examiner had to open the body and asked me to witness. I'm standing up there tough. I could go ahead. You sure you can take this? I said, yeah, man. So he run something down the chest like something with like a saw or something like that.
A saw.
You go grr.
Chest cutter.
And you open up the chest, taking out organs and showing me, this is the heart. Okay. This is the liver. This is that. All right. I'm tough. I can't bother me. So After he did his thing, put back the body, and it was around. This time is around lunchtime. So I went back to the station and I booked out for lunch and went in the back, Shabonas, the restaurant in the back, and I ordered a beef roti. I sat down to eat. The first bite of the roti there was dough. I eat that, you get dough and curry. Second bite was some potato. Next bite was some beef. Another bite into the beef. And I look at it, it had to go crunch, crunch, crunch. Just like how they think. And I look at the beef, I swear, I've seen everything I saw in the post in the post. Everything I saw in the examiner's office, I've seen it in the roti, man. Listen, I couldn't eat meat again for about 3 months.
Whoa, you was vegan for 3 months?
Vegan, long before vegan became stylish. I was vegan for a long time because every time I ate meat, I would vomit. So that was a strange encounter to me. I swear I saw everything that the man had in the examining room was in that roti. I couldn't eat. I started to vomit. That was it for me. Never ate meat again for about 3 months.
So let me lighten this up a bit. This is something happening here. Around the age of 14, 15, 14 exactly, I left home. And the place I was staying, sleeping in there the night, woke up in the morning out of a dream. Now, in the dream, I met this young lady, well, someone my age, nice looking sister. Ask her name. She says Zara. Never heard that name before. So we talked in the dream. Can't remember the conversation, but I say, I want you to be my girlfriend. She said, okay, fine. Jump up from sleep. Realized it was only a dream. Came outside, sat down on the stoop for about 5 minutes. Who do you think I see walking down the street? The exact girl I just saw in the dream. Called out to her. Asked her name. What do you think her name was? Zara. Just like I just had in the dream. The person I dreamed about, less than 10 minutes later, I saw them walking down the street. Same name. What's that? What kind of coincidence? What kind of blip in the matrix I got caught up in?
Did she accept your did she accept the request of being your girlfriend?
I didn't push it that far because, like I said, I just woke up and come outside.
You were so shocked.
I didn't brush my teeth, anything yet. I'm sitting on the stoop. I can't call no girl to actually stand up there and talk. You know what I'm saying? So I just figured I'll see her again. Never lay eyes upon that young lady in life. Strange encounters. Dream about somebody, wake up and see them.
Yeah, I had an experience.
Why are they pursuing?
Oh, go ahead.
Dr. Reed made me I had to leave to blow my nose, man. I crying. I couldn't stay here, I'm be honest. He said, you can't eat meat. Biting for roti. I crying so bad, I sitting there. I fell on the floor, knocked the lamp. Oh my gosh.
So let me tell you this quick story. I had a human and social biology test when I was going to New York City Tech. And I know I did poorly in the test, right? But I was kind of worried about it. So the following week now, we get the papers back, right? So the night before we get the papers, I dream the score that I got. The score was like, I think the score was like 47 or something out of 100. It was a real bad, bad test. But in the dream, the professor was, he'd call the student, he'll call the name and actually announce what his score was in the test. But that was in the dream. Of course, in real life, he ain't really calling his score. He just call a name, right? Lo and behold, pick up the test paper in the class the next day. The score I dream is the score on the paper. You know? Interesting, right? Yeah, don't worry. I feel it bad.
So you dreamed that you failed and you didn't even try. You didn't even prepare yourself to try and pass.
From the night before?
Yeah.
How are you doing that? I take the test the week before. How we pulling that one off, brethren?
I don't know. Karin, anything else from you?
Yeah, I had more strange encounters as a child, but not in the ghostly type or in the spiritual sense. There was one incident in the house. We had like a 3-bedroom house. It was on stilts. And the house was taken over by bees one day. Like one day, there was no awareness by anyone that there was any beehive. No one disturbed anything. One day, bees took over the house. I remember another year, those big red biting ants. Dr. Judith would know them. Big, the red ants in Jamaica. Dr. Judith, with me?
We're talking about
the big red ants. Big red,
we
red
call
ants.
them bacha.
They took over the entire house. So we had like bees one time and red ants took over the house another time. And it's just one day, then everything was resolved. One day each time. It was just the weirdest thing. And I never forgot it. Never forgot it.
Judith? Any weird situation? No. No, she said, We're not hearing you. We're not.
Yeah, you're muted?
Muted? No.
No, her mic is not muted. We're not hearing her.
Say something.
Not hearing you at all.
Now that is a strange encounter right there.
Yeah, that's strange. Because your mic is not muted and nobody hearing you right now. Are you asleep, Judith? Is this your avatar talking to us?
Oh my goodness.
Let me try like last week. Let me try.
Say something, Judith.
No, we see your lips moving, but we're not hearing.
All right, we can't read lips. We can't read lips. She's Sam, where's that she saying in the chat box?
Your blouse and skirt.
It's all right, man. It's all right. So, all right, before this is a more modern situation that happened here. Some years back at Orlando Carnival, I'm out there selling my flags, my bandanas and stuff. I look up the road and I see one healthy looking sister. Small waist, wide hips. And I looked at her going up the street, she and a couple of female companions, and I was like, yeah, she looked nice. And I looked around, I saw a bunch of people coming towards me. the crowd moving in that direction. And a group of like 4 brothers coming down the road. And I look in the crowd and I pick one of them. And I call him, I say, yo, come. He come across, I say, look at that, you like that? He said, yeah, she look good, boy. I say, you want to meet her? He said, yeah, you know her? I said, no, come. I ran over there and I said, introduce yourself to each other. He introduced himself. Both of them started to talk. I left. Never thought about it again. About 8 years later, 9 years later, this woman walked up to me at Orlando Carnival and said, I want to thank you for introducing me to Gerard, whatever his name was. And I'm looking at her and I have no idea what she's talking about. She said, thank you for introducing me. You know, we got married. And she said, no, we didn't get married, but we were together for several years. So I'm looking at her, what are you talking about? She said, you can't remember you introduced us a while back? No, I had to step back and look at her, right? I said, oh, okay, I remember. Right? That was her identifying feature. I can't remember her face. Remember, I saw her from the back. So I had to back up and look at her and I said, oh yeah, now I remember. And I said, okay, continue. She said that she and the gentleman got into a relationship for 7 years. They actually moved in together. And they eventually separated. However, they remain good friends up to this day. He is her best friend in the world, and she is still considered his best friend. And they lean on each other whenever they have any kind of struggles in life, whether it's financial or anything in a relationship, but they still remain close after all of those years. Now, I didn't know this gentleman, didn't know the lady, never met either one of them. But somehow I saw her, and I turned around and picked him out of a crowd on Carnival Day. And somehow I knew that he was the perfect fit for this woman. And it lasted 7 years, living together. She said she raised a son who she's still close to. How did I know that?
Where was you when I had troubles? Where were you?
I was
worthless. You're worthless.
So somehow, what force it is that led me to do that, I can't say. But I'm happy to say I did make a match. 2 strangers brought together, happenstance encounter on a Carnival Day. And they made something worthwhile and loving out of my introducing the 2 of them. Strange encounter. I can't explain it, but it happened.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
We could hear you now.
Now you're working.
Yes.
Now you're working.
Well, let me tell you my strange encounter, okay?
Yeah.
It was
Miss Henry.
Mr. Henry. I was probably about 14 years old, 15 in Jamaica with my 2 siblings was home, younger siblings. It was a Friday afternoon. I don't usually remember dates and times, but this one I remember. And we were in the house, and all of a sudden we heard click, click, click. Couldn't figure out where the sound was coming from. My 2 siblings ran and left me in the house. And so I finally, the sound kept going. So I walked outside and I said to them, I said, walkless something gonna leave me in the house by myself with the strange sound. But because my father, I was just talking to my brother Vincent about that today. My father played a very integral part in my life, and he taught me how to think instead of always responding emotionally. So I said, no, it sounded ominous. I said, I want to find out what this is. So I went back in, and you know what was happening? There was a back wooden door, and all was happening as every time the wind would blow, it would go in and just hit something in, I guess, over the door. I could make that clicking sound. So once I saw, I was like, Okay, that's what it was. Nothing to be fearful of. So I have no real encounters. I was driving from New York to Georgia once, and I fell asleep I stopped in a I stopped in a rest area, 2:00 in the morning, 3:00. Fell asleep. And all of a sudden I heard somebody jiggling the door. And I woke up. I said, "Get your backside away from me." And the man ran. And I went back to sleep. That might have been a strange encounter. I don't know what to tell you. But I've not had a lot of those things. I haven't had anything of nothing really. Other than that pressing down feeling.
The person, Dr. Judith, the person who was chickling the window, did he look like Mark?
Oh.
You think
no. No, that was a strange encounter.
Well, people, in this life, there are a lot of things that we don't understand. There are a lot of things that we imagine based on stories that we heard as children. I've heard stories about, in Guyana, they call them what? Olail. In Trinidad, we call them sukunya. In Jamaica, somewhere they call it a running calf.
Rolling.
In Trinidad, we have a next thing called duen.
Duen, yeah, duen.
Rolling calf, what is it?
Rolling calf.
Rolling calf. In Trinidad, we have duen. We have all kind of supernatural creatures. Whether true or not, I have never witnessed any of those. Never witnessed any of these things that people claim to have seen. In Middle America, people talk about UFOs and some talk about being abducted. The strange part with that, I wonder how come aliens who are supposed to be intelligent beings don't ever come to the city. Don't ever come and really take up some intelligent person, because most of the people we hear who say they've been encountered, they seem to be very slow. And it came down when it took me up. We went up, way up. Somehow, I don't know. The Indians never seem to grab the intelligent ones.
That sounds like Ram Goat Salvation. You ever read that story, Ram Goat Salvation?
No.
You never read that story before?
No, not at all. So, whatever it is, my grandmother always used to tell me, say your prayers before you go to bed. Because, like Judith said, ask somebody, maybe it's all the deeds that you do in the daytime, why it is you can't sleep when the night comes. I don't know. I don't know how true it is. But to each and every one of you, all I have to say, I wish you all pleasant dreams. Sleep well. Wait, one Jen come out with that comment just so in the 80s.
The Souza.
Yeah, 100. We call him 100. Oh, lots of sightings in New York? No. So we're not talking about sightings where you just see something floating in the sky. We're talking about people who say a light come down over them and they pull them up in the light and they went to a distant planet and they come back and they were prodding them with things and they let them back down here. Those are the ones I'm talking about. Somehow they never seem to be too bright. That's all I'm saying. The aliens never seem to abduct intelligent folks. That's all I'm saying. Not sightings. Or everybody could see a UFO, sight a UFO. It's an unidentified flying object. If you have never seen a drone, and all of a sudden you look out your window and you see a drone, that is a UFO. It's an unidentified flying object. Am I right or am I right?
You're correct.
You are right.
Because you never see it in your life.
At all. They had an abduction in Lower Manhattan. Oh gosh, here we go. He said they had an abduction in Lower Manhattan. No,
maybe it was he that was abducted.
That might have been
yeah. Whoever the guy was abducted is black up. That's he was black up.
That might have been a kidnapping. It's a totally different thing. Lucy O'Brien said for me to behave myself. Now, where Lucy lived in Trinidad, I don't know about now. I haven't been in that territory in lots of years. the place might have developed, but up there was at one time in the 70s, it had plenty bush, country. And I walk those streets daytime, nighttime, wee hours of the morning. I ain't never seen nothing, ain't nothing never trouble me, nothing never bother me, and that was deep country. So, prominent government witness got abducted. That was the mob. That was it. Roger, that was probably the mob that snatched it. Anyway, people, this was a rather interesting show. The first half of the show talking about, what we talk about, Karin?
Health and fitness.
Health and fitness, investing in oneself. Investing in ourselves as individuals, investing in ourselves as a community, investing in ourselves as a people. When we use the word invest, we're not just talking monetary.
Sorry.
We have to do a lot of self-assessment and investment in ourselves if we intend to prolong this one life that we have. And I say one life, I haven't known anyone to come back and tell me anything else. We prepare for another one beyond this, I don't know. As far as I know, this is the one we have. So I urge each and every one of you to get whatever little bit of exercise you can. Like Gerald said, drop a pencil and pick it up if that's all you could do. Mark, if you could reach over that belly and pick up that pencil, go ahead.
You will show your belly. You will show your belly on the show and talk about mine, because my belly don't look like that. I gonna tell you something, man. That was fearful. That was. I can't unsee that, man. I can't unsee it. I don't know why you did that. There's a whole lot of feelings hurt. My God. My God. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I go to church tomorrow. I am going to church tomorrow. I'm going to light the candle just for my own protection to go back and unsee that. My God.
I will give you that one. I will give you that one. I will give you that one. Talk to me. Hold on. Hey, we closing out the show. We done with you, Mark. All right. Light the candle, say what you have to say. Witty, talk to me.
It was fun. It was fun. Enjoy your life, man. You know?
That's it.
The one life to live, as they say. Don't stress. Stress kills. Live your life and enjoy it. That's it.
That's it.
Everything in moderation.
Miss Forrester, talk to me.
When we talked about this subject, I just all I could think about was how people from all backgrounds claim to be very spiritual, but when they're tested, they try to disprove what is clearly in front of them, and or disprove others who relay unusual tales to them. I don't know. I trust my senses. I trust my own sense of spirituality. It says, I just find it funny that no matter how they say they have such a strong belief system in certain things, when they're actually tested, you know, it falls to the wayside and they try to disprove everything. I find that fascinating. That's it.
Mr. Archer.
Yeah, this was real cool, you know. It had a story about a police officer who went up in the bush area, you know, looking for a brother. And the guy, they meet up with
Jewel again, man.
And you started talking about police. Hey, you started talking about police in the bush, and we started to talk about
let me finish.
Officer Carter.
Hello, I have the floor, you know. I have the floor. Let me handle my stories, thank you.
Right, man.
Because there's a
laughing. We ain't laughing at you. I just wanted to know that when you started talking about police and bush, I remember your boy over there and I start laughing. I just want to tell you. Look, you start to laugh.
Oh God.
So anyway,
catch my breath.
The fella say, look, the man you're looking for is in that direction. And he said, but you see over here, and the police shut him up. And he pull out the badge, he said, I'm the police. I could go anywhere I damn well please. He said, all right, boss. Handle stories, fix up. About 3 minutes later, you see the policeman dashing through the grass and thing. What do you think running him? A big bison. The fella said, show him your badge. Show him your badge, brethren. Show him the badge. Not because you're right. You need to tell everybody that you're a badge and you're pulling out your badge. That's the moral of the story from that I will bring this evening. Dr. Witty, that was a real good story, man.
Strange encounter to me.
Yeah, Dr. Witty's story was his story. Dr. Witty!
Strange encounter to me, bro.
That was man.
Never trust a police in short pants. Like me tell you.
Especially mosquito bites in him.
You know, is that a story called The Honest Thief? Or ever heard about that one day? You didn't read a lot in elementary school. Okay.
So you have a next story to tell me again? I mean,
no.
I just want to know if I should kick back and listen to you know.
You all want the story?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Dr. Judith.
Next time I'm gonna tell you all about Ram Goat Salvation. Since you all never heard that one, we're gonna talk about Ram Goat Salvation next time.
Dr. Judith, talk to us.
You don't want to hear anything from me, so I'm done. You're trying to cut me off. You're trying to cut me off. You're trying to all sort of things since I come on here tonight. So I'm going to my bed. You understand?
No. Let me get close to this thing. What you mean I don't want to hear nothing from you?
So who now? What you say? What you say?
I got close to the camera and said, "What do you mean I don't want to hear nothing from you?"
I ain't talking to you. I was talking to the other one. Sick in the head. What is it that you want? What is it that you want to comment about, sir?
The show, the overall show. Give me your vibes. How you like the vibes for the evening? We have two segments. What did you take away?
I agreed with a lot of what Mr. Gerard said. I believe it's mind, body, and soul. I agree with him that we must be invested in ourselves, and we cannot help anybody else unless we are taking care of ourselves first. And I believe strongly, very strongly, in exercise. As he said to Dr. Witty, when there's a pencil you drop, I use almost any opportunity to work out. Because one of the things that it does, I know, it keeps me in a good place mentally. Because when you work out, what do you call that? The endorphins that, comes out when you do physical exercise. It's a natural high. I mean, I've literally watched myself go from kind of to when I'm finished working out, feeling elevated, feeling really up. So I love physical exercise. It helps me mind and body and soul. And the last part is what we were talking about again.
Strange encounters.
The strange encounters. I am very sorry to disappoint you. I've not had any great meaning. I could even I feel like I should wax poetic right now and say something really fancy, but I have nothing to say fancy. I've just never had. I'm basically a sleeper. When I sleep, I sleep. When I'm awake, I'm awake. And I don't have a lot to.
I'll fix that.
Excuse me, sir?
I said, let me drive up 95. I'll fix that. Give me about 8
hours. Man. You're mad, man. Why you keep threatening me?
Hey, Hannah, I just hear something about 95 and what?
The glasses. We're looking for the glasses.
You put on your glasses to hear better, Sam? Is that what you're doing?
I want to see. As usual, it's a good program.
Yes, sir.
Judith, what he doesn't know, he's on the west coast of Florida, over in a place called Tampa. He wants to jump on the 95, which means he had to come all the way east to drive on the 95 to go north, and she is off the 75. So you're gonna get lost, but if you take the 95 north, you ain't driving straight to Atlanta. So you stay home. You ain't.
I'm safe. Know where you're going. I'm safe.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Don't worry, I'll find you.
Listen. You know what's interesting? You know what's interesting? You know what is interesting? All these months he's been threatening me, and I'm still don't know the direction to go in. He's a man with a plan.
The 95 go past through Tampa, so I don't know what you're talking about. The 95 is on my side of town, not where he is over there.
Help us,
Lower
Father,
Alabama.
help us.
Lower Alabama.
Help us,
That's
Father.
where he is. So now, as far as the health situation for the evening go, interesting show. And like I said, we need to take better care of ourselves. And I said it earlier, if you woke up this morning with more health than illness, you're more blessed than millions of people who may not even make it through the week. If you woke up on this side of the dirt, consider yourself blessed. Because many people woke up dead this morning. For those of you in the room here, if you were able to read anything in the chat, consider yourself fortunate, because you're better off than millions of people in the world who can't even read at all. So enjoy the comments.
And let's
give thanks for the
Sam.
blessings. Give thanks for the blessings. Give thanks for the blessings that we do have. Take care of your health. Take care of your health. Take care of your health. That's the best I could say for everything. In terms of strange encounters, well, I hope we left it all on the table. I have plenty other stories, but it ain't just about me, so I ain't gonna just get into all of them other things. But right, I just picked a few that I decided to talk about tonight. several strange encounters. But we shared a few good stories, a few good laughs. I also wanted to share with you all, I don't know if you all saw this on social media, but this past weekend, I won the next round of my speaking competition at Toastmasters. I first was the club member, the club winner, sorry. Then I advanced to the area level. I won the area level. I then advanced to the division level, which I won this weekend. So the next step is to advance to the district level. And when I win the district level, I advance to the semifinals.
That's right. That's right.
When I win the semifinals, I advance to the finals. And after winning the finals, I will be world-class, top-class winner Toastmasters International competition. That is my intention. From my mouth, that's right, from my lips, to your ears, to God's ears.
That's right. That's right.
So,
that's right.
I'm continuing moving. This week, I also launched my online store, Excel Apparel. So, not going to go into a whole advertising campaign about that, but I'm just sharing that with the other members of the panel. We're down to the ending of the show. I don't know how many people watch the show. I don't know how many people watch the show to the end, but if you do, then hey, then you get the chance to see the message. But this is for just us on the panel here, just letting you all know my accomplishments this weekend. And for Lucy, O'Brien, and Wondred, who stuck it out with us till the end, thank you all, thank you all, thank you all. After that, I have nothing to say. Good night.
Bless.
Bless.